The president tasked us with mass deportation, and we are fulfilling that mandate.
The head of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, defending his agency before Congress. But in fulfilling Trump's mandate, ICE has used tactics that have terrorized immigrants and citizens alike,
Shut it down!
Sparking widespread protest.
Get the occupation down!
Even some former ICE officers are shocked.
This has become rogue. It's become dangerous. It is clearly undermining the integrity and the professionalism of the agency that I love so dear.
So how much has ICE changed now that Trump is using the agency to carry out his goal of mass deportation?
To understand why ICE was created in the first place, let's go back to the mid-1990s, when Bill Clinton was president.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
Clinton passed a series of immigration reforms that both cut off pathways to citizenship and discouraged undocumented migrants from leaving the U.S. The undocumented population almost doubled over the next 5 years and was around 9 million when 9/11 happened. The attacks were blamed, in part, on failures of the immigration system. So, in 2003, President George W. Bush brought immigration enforcement under a new department, the Department of Homeland Security.
Because terrorism is a global threat, we must have complete control over who and what enters the United States.
Under DHS, Bush created two new enforcement agencies, one to control illegal immigration at the border, Customs and Border Protection, and one to control it in the interior, ICE.
One of the problems we had traditionally was the fact that agencies don't always play well with each other. So I believe that was the effort. The effort was to integrate all these agencies into one master agency.
Daniel Vara was a national security lawyer at the old Immigration and Naturalization Service and became one of the first employees at ICE.
The first few days were very exciting because some of us did believe that there was a chance that we were going to get rid of some of the inefficiencies in the old INS.
But even at the outset, migrant rights advocates worried the new agencies would treat immigration mainly as a national security issue.
After 9/11, of course, the United States was very much afraid that it was exposed to outsiders.
Bill Hing is a law professor at the University of San Francisco.
That basically gave Homeland Security license to just really come down hard on the vast, vast majority of people who come to the United States, of course, who do not come here to do us harm and are not criminals.
In 2006, ICE raided a series of meatpacking plants in 6 different states, arresting 1,300 undocumented workers in a single day. It was, at the time, the largest worksite raid by immigration agents in U.S. history. It was also the moment that Hing realized how much power the new agency had been given.
And that's when I knew we are in for it, because that type of activity could take place.
Illegal immigration continued to be a hot-button issue under President Obama. He earned a reputation for hardline enforcement at the border.
Why did you deport 2 million people?
Jorge, we're not going to...
For 6 years you did it. You destroyed many families.
Jorge,
they called you deporter-in-chief.
You called me deporter-in-chief. I did not.
Obama also increased ICE's budget for interior enforcement, but he narrowed who the agency targeted for deportation.
Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids.
For Obama, that was a better use of ICE's resources than mass deportation.
Mass deportation would be both impossible and contrary to our character.
But in 2016, Trump was elected on a promise to do just that.
And you can call it deported if you want. The press doesn't like that term. You can call it whatever the hell you want. They're gone.
At ICE, the orders changed. Gone was Obama's targeted approach to immigration enforcement.
That was the theme of the Trump administration, was everyone's at play.
Darius Reeves headed ICE field offices under both the Obama and Trump administrations.
Everyone became, that's the main thing, everyone. You can arrest any and everyone now.
But Trump didn't manage to increase deportations much in his first term. He faced two problems. The first was infrastructure.
Everyone can't be brought in because ICE doesn't have the infrastructure. We never had the infrastructure to house multiple people. Nowhere. We don't even have the infrastructure to remove 1 million people a year.
The second problem was an overloaded immigration system, which meant due process slowed deportation efforts.
The real problem with enforcing immigration law, we have a kind of saying, if you're immigration enforcement, the case is never over till the alien wins.
Vara is now in private practice and sits on the board of an influential think tank that lobbies for lower immigration.
I did one case that it took 8 years to get to a final decision. And in the immigration context, when you're dealing with millions of people, that's absurd. You'll never accomplish the mission if that's the way the system works. So I think that what the Trump administration did in the first term is they pushed the issue. I think they realized some of what the real problem was, but because he didn't get in a second term, it got delayed in terms of what the fix was going to be.
When Trump returned to power last year, he again promised mass deportation.
We're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country.
And this time, he appears determined to avoid the legal obstacles that slowed his first-term deportation efforts. ICE has been given ambitious targets.
We are looking to set a goal of a minimum of 3,000 arrests for ICE every day, and President Trump is going to keep pushing to get that number up higher each and every single day.
To meet these goals, ICE agents have been conducting aggressive enforcement operations around the country, in places like Los Angeles, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Most of the people it's rounding up don't have criminal convictions. And legal observers say the agency is routinely ignoring the laws that once held it in check.
Last month, we watched federal agents break into homes without judicial warrants in violation of the Fourth Amendment, instructions they received directly from headquarters. Last year, they deported hundreds to a foreign prison with no day in court in violation of the Fifth Amendment.
To fix the infrastructure issue, Trump engineered a staggering budget increase for ICE. The agency says it is using $38 billion of that money to buy dozens of warehouses that it will turn into a massive network of detention centers. ICE is also spending billions chartering deportation flights. Billions more have been earmarked for hiring and equipping thousands of new agents. ICE is now better funded than most militaries in the world, including those of Turkey, Spain, and Iran. Bill Hing once thought mass deportation was an impossible project for ICE. But now, he's not so sure.
I don't think they're going to deport 1 million people a year, but hundreds of thousands, yes, they're doing that. And they're doing it without warrants. And unless the Supreme Court steps in to stop this activity, I do think that what we're going to witness is going to be mind-boggling.
Reeves retired from ICE last year. He says he doesn't recognize the agency he spent 2 decades serving.
And I took pride in that. And I just don't know what's going on with my agency. The leadership now, why are you not standing up? Better yet, do the right thing and retire. Walk away from this. This has gotten out of control. We look bad. We look horrible.